Let's jump into this conversation with Vivek Ramaswamy and Ann Coulter. Vivek started out the conversation with just a 1 or 2 minute monologue about nationalism and how it's not a bad N-word. That's what he means by N-word in the title. If you want to watch this without interruptions, to go to Vivek Ramaswamy's website. It's his YouTube channel. Let's take a look. This is how the interview starts.
Line sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that. And it's directly related to what you were just talking about. You know, the thing about nationalism, you're totally right. It is like, to use the word nationalism, oh, it's Hitler, it's Hitler. And, Hitler had soup. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have soup. Mm-hmm. Hitler loved dogs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love dogs. So I think we have to move past this. If Hitler did it, it must be bad.
And how do we move past that? I agree with you with the guy with the funny mustache. There's a big pediment to moving past that. But let's go back. This is how she started. She's going to go on for 10 minutes here with just on fire. First thing is, if you're starting a pod and you start like this, he started out giving her props. Hey, I'm glad for this conversation. She, I forgot what he said, but she's great and all that. And he talked about nationalism, and then she comes on the pod. She comes out firing.
On social media, but for the first time, we're having at least a live form conversation in the offline sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun.
She says, so I'm wondering why she said that, so it will be fun. At first, I thought she said, I'm doing it just because it will be I'm doing it just to play devil's advocate, but I don't think that's what she meant. I think she meant it will be fun because I do authentically disagree with you. I think Ann Coulter is being accurate here. So people online were talking about I don't know who her previous boyfriends are. They were mentioning people of color, people who have colored skin, not all black, but people who have brown skin like Vivek. His skin's like brown orange to me, but I don't know if that's just the lighting. But dark, not white. She's talking about, I want a president who is, later on she says, a WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. That's what she's talking about with WASP. Like that's who she wants for president. I watched this whole thing. What she kind of extrapolated was it means just for president. If I have her take correctly, for Supreme Court justice, she doesn't believe it has to be a WASP. And that kind of was used as a derogatory term. I don't know why. It's just a white person through basically heritage from England. The same whites who started our country. So she went through those different things, and let me bring it back again here, though.
In the offline sense of it, it's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be.
So I think she's saying, so it will be fun, meaning the conversation will be fun because I disagree.
Fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them.
Even Vivek had to laugh at that. That was a funny line. That was a funny line. And you know who got offended as she goes on here to say that I like you a lot? She's very cordial and just says, I wouldn't vote for you because you're Indian. You know who got involved in the conversation online, which they can if they want, but I'm going to clown them for it, is the American black. I saw the American black who votes 90% for trash, just on a mental plantation. They're just literally mental slaves when it comes to politics. They have the worst takes possible, especially the black women. But they jumped into this conversation and they said, Vivek, Look, Vivek, you found out the hard way. Found out what the hard way? First of all, this conversation's for adults. Just stay out of this. Go find another 80-year-old, doddering old fool who wears diapers to go lick their behind. That's what you guys do. I don't need you in a conversation where we're having an intellectual conversation, a philosophical conversation. You all get manipulated and used by these old 80-year-old whites who I have no problem that they're old 80-year-old whites, but you're the ones that are supposed to have problems with it. So you jump into a conversation that you don't understand. I don't know if you don't have the mental capacity. And when I say the blacks, I mean people who like the color black. I don't know if you have the mental capacity. I don't know what the problems are, but you can't comprehend this conversation. So I don't need you running in saying, oh, I got you. There's the racist. Oh, then we got the bigot. You got the bigot. No, just go, I don't know, go find a police car to twerk on or something. This conversation is not for you. And when you bring it into and there's people there's the Black Imams, and I think Maj was against it. I'm not sure. Let me not put him in there, but he's a libertarian, not in the, but people here, there's blacks there that have a problem with it too. And it's just weird. What's the difference between a preference and being a bigot? Like, why can't she have a preference? She's not trying to say, I want to unlive all of these people. That's not the take. She's saying, for president, I prefer this. I don't agree with it because I don't even understand what this, it's very much, and Vivek goes into this later on, and maybe I'll do we'll see how this video does. I'm just going to go by views of that. I go by what I like to talk about, what I find interesting, trending topics, and it's very easy to see if other people care or not. Thumbnail, all that plays a role. But if you want, comment on it, like on it. If you are interested in it and you would like to see more. Other thing to keep in mind is don't look at subscribers, because people kind of hit me up. I'm off topic here, but just to explain, why I would do a series of videos. People look at subscribers and say, "Oh, you got," and they'll put on my comments like, "Oh, you got 60,000 subscribers, but 100 views." Or subscriber count means absolutely nothing. It's just completely irrelevant. It's really what YouTube gives to people who are just streaming around. And they are giving smaller channels a little bit more a chance now. But they will only give you a chance if you listen to them. They let you know, this video, we're pumping this a little bit harder. You might want to do more of these. People on the channel might see the same kind of interview broken up into different segments, but there's a lot of people who don't know the channel that will see the subsequent one. So let me know what you think about that. I think she's totally entitled to have her preference if she wants. No different than the other side. It is identitarianism, and I think it's not on substance, because I don't care if you're a WASP, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, because there's a lot of trash ones of those. So that doesn't mean anything to me. I'll go on a little bit more and then we'll end this segment.
That's derogatory. And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that. And it's directly related to what you were just talking about. The thing about nationalism, you're totally right. It is like, to use the word nationalism.
See, I define nationalism as belief in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. There's a lot of white Anglo-Saxon Protestants that don't. And it's all opinion. I'm not saying that they're wrong. You can interpret the Constitution however you want. But what I'm talking about is people who have a close enough interpretation to I do. It doesn't matter if you're Nigerian or whatever in Africa, or from Australia or from China. It doesn't matter. That's what makes America different. And if you're going to say whites only, that's fine. I mean, that's fine if you not. That's only for president, just to be clear. She's not saying that for other things. Then I'm fine with that. As long as the government doesn't discriminate, I'm fine with that. If people want to hire people based on their preferences, what's the difference between saying, even if you are a biological male that cosplays and at least presents as an attractive woman, and I say, nah, because I don't like when you open up the package, there's a package, so I'm good. Even if you say you're in a virtual reality, and it's literally pick the most attractive person you want. If you want to pick a Carrie Lake, Candace Owens, you're white, whatever, and just add a package to it. So now they're a biological male because you can do that in the virtual world. And I say, nah, I'm good. That's just not my cup of tea. Am I being a bigot? What's the difference? Like, what's the difference between that and Ann Coulter saying, she's being very soft, just for president, I want a WASP? What's the difference? You might not agree. Who cares? But it's not bigoted, though. Let me know what you think.
Middle MAGA.